So today I'm going to talk to you about how to lose weight. I'm not some weird skinny bitch that sits in front of the computer and hasn't lost weight ever. I have actually lost 3.5 stone since March. So I have done it and I kind of know what I'm doing, you know, as a nurse and someone who's actually been there. So together, let's see if I can give you a hand if you've kind of hit a wall. I'm going to give a quick disclaimer. I may be a professional, but at the same time, what works for me may not work for you. You may have certain health issues that, you know, sometimes you can't follow the same thing as other people. So if you are starting out losing weight, please contact your GP and have a quick checkup so that, you know, you're not trying to do something you shouldn't, or eat something you shouldn't, or avoid things, because I understand that some people's needs are different to others, so I thought I'd just add that. Also, this is not a quick fix video. I'm not going to tell you how to lose weight in like 3 days. It doesn't happen. If you are wanting that, I'm really sorry. This isn't the video for you. I'm going to be talking about, you know, long-term changes for long-term results, so sorry. However, if you're still interested, please keep watching and I will give you a hand. What are you really? I'm going to call this. I was in big denial, let's face it. I was a size 16, although I was fitting into a size 14, and just because I fit into the 14 doesn't necessarily mean I was. So I had to buy a pair of trousers. It got to the point where I couldn't fit into these size 14s that I was wearing, and I put on a pair of size 16s and they didn't fit either. And I found myself putting on a pair of size 18 trousers. I'm not saying that size 18 people are huge or anything, but for me, at my height, it was, you know, an unsafe size to be. So that was when I realised that actually maybe I need to do something, and maybe there's a bit of truth in what people are saying. So yeah, I started then. So the first thing I did was, well, I had to be honest about what I was eating. So that leads me on to number 2, which is being honest about food. What I did for the first week, as it were, of being on my diet, I'm going to call it a diet in very, very loose terms. Okay, actually, don't call it a diet. Do not call it a diet. It was a healthy lifestyle change, not a diet, because a diet is just a way to describe what you eat. Nothing to do with losing weight, that's the difference. But yeah, so what I did for a week was I kept a diary of all the food I was eating. I didn't look at the calories on the back, I didn't look at the fat on the back, I didn't look at anything. I just kept a very honest diary of what I was eating. I didn't miss anything out, I put it all in, and then at the end of that week I looked at all the packets and I looked at the calorie count, I looked at the fat count, I looked at the salt, I looked at everything. And I was eating something around 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. And if it only takes 3,500 to put on 1 pound of fat, then that kind of explained where I was going a bit wrong. Yeah, so that was a bit of a wake-up call, but I'm glad I did it because it meant that I was then able to kind of make a change. So the horrible word that I used to think was almost a swear word to me was exercise. I hate the idea of it. I'm still not particularly fond of it, but if you have excess weight, you have excess stored energy, which means that it needs to be burned off, and diet alone isn't just going to do that, I'm afraid. You're going to have to push your body a bit. I mean, I'm not talking, you know, go running around a great big field and do the track at the local school and do 1,600 metres 3 times a day. I mean, that's just going to kill you, so don't do that. I started slowly. I walked home from work every day, which is an hour away, and it's 3.6 miles. So I was walking 3.6 miles a day. And I combined that with my, you know, healthy eating. And in the first month, I actually lost a stone, which I do understand. A certain amount of it was water, and a certain amount of it was, yes, it was fat. And I did slow down after that. So also something else to be aware of, you will slow down after the first month, week, whatever it is, because you will lose a little bit more if you're more excessively overweight than you would if you were just trying to lose like 9 pounds or something. So I just thought I'd warn you of that. So I kind of built it up slowly. So I went from going home from work, and then once or twice a week I would then do Pilates when I got home as well, which then helped like increase my muscle mass and kind of gave me a more toned figure, as well as kind of burning fat. I keep a written track of what I've lost, and when I started, and I do it every week, I weigh myself once a week. I don't do it more than that. One, because if you weigh yourself too often, you're not going to get a true reading of how much you are. Two, if you do it too often, you might end up becoming a little bit obsessed with it, and then you're at risk of eating disorder habits, and that isn't a good way to go. Also, I always weigh myself in the morning, first thing when I get up, because that's when I haven't had any excess fluid and haven't eaten, so then it's like a true reading of what I really am. Ooh, yes. I also had an app. There's an app for that. And what I did was, when I was walking, it would then tell me how far I've walked, and it would help me like sort of keep track of things. And I also had a diet one, so I could write it into my iPhone. That way I was kind of aware of what I was eating, and that way it could add up the calories for me, because I'm not very good at maths. And you know, sometimes I was just thinking, but I'm really hungry, and I'd see something in Asda and I was like, oh, I could really do with that. And then I'd pick it up and read the back of the calorie thing, and then I'd try to remember how many I've had that day, but because it was on the app, I could just look at it and think, is it worth it? No, it's not. Support. It's quite a big one, and it's something that a lot of people feel as though they kind of don't get. I mean, I suppose it's like giving up smoking, you know, you need something and someone that you can talk to. So I was really lucky. I had my boyfriend, and he was, you know, really supportive. He was a bit funny about it. I think it's a man thing, you know. Oh my God, my girlfriend's losing weight. But, you know, he was fine, and he was happy to support me, and I found it really, really good. The other thing I would like to say is it's okay to go off track. If you are watching this video because, you know, you've just gone and had a McDonald's, you know what, that's perfectly fine. It's totally normal. I mean, if you've been eating salad and you've been, you know, eating really, really healthily and had really good portion control all week, one meal that's unhealthy is not going to make you fat again. Just like eating one salad isn't going to make you skinny. So, you know, everything in moderation. It's called having a balanced diet. So, you know, please remember that as well. Also, water is the most important thing that you will have. It is so important to your body. I mean, it helps the body absorb its nutrients, it cushions your joints, it makes up 75% of your brain, and that's, you know, possibly why a lot of people get headaches, because they just don't drink enough. Also, it can like make up 22% of your bones, and on top of that, you know, it's 83% of your blood, so it's a super important thing, and having not enough water can be quite detrimental to your health. And on top of that, it converts food into energy. So, you know, if you're going to start, you know, losing weight, the last thing you want is an energy slump, and then you go and have something sugary to go and combat it, and you're back at square one. So, water's the way forward. Also, it'll help you keep you full longer as well. So if you have your meal and then, you know, you find yourself thinking, oh, I'm a bit hungry, about an hour later, if you have a glass of water, that's probably your body actually saying, hello, can we have some water, please? So please remember to have some water. In fact, go and have some now. Go on, just pause this video and go get some, because you probably need it. Another thing is, plateauing is okay. It's going to happen. All you've got to do is not think, oh, well, obviously I'm not going to lose any more weight, so there's no point. What you need to do is you might need to review what you're eating again. You might need to review what your exercise regime is. I mean, if you're kind of looking at your diet and you think, I'm eating really healthily, and then you look at your diet and just try and do that diary again. And if you do that diary again, you'll probably see where you're starting to go wrong. And then if you can make those changes in your diet, then you might think, oh, aha, and then you'll probably start losing weight again. So try that one. Please look at the back of the packets and the calories on them. The biggest mistake I have heard people telling me is that, oh well, I only have this amount of calories in my porridge, and then you realise that they've not actually weighed anything and they're assuming that they've had 100 grams of something or 30 grams of something when actually they've probably had double or triple that. Cereal's the biggest example, I'm afraid. You need to weigh it out and you need to add on anything extra onto it. I mean, it says 200 per 100 grams, for example. If you've just had 400 grams of something, you need to add on how many other calories there are in there, because you know you're not going to be having a sensible idea of what you're eating otherwise, and it becomes very awkward very quickly when I have to say that, and I don't like saying it. The other thing that I was going to add was that I started taking a multivitamin when I started losing weight. I don't know if that's an important thing, but it's something that I felt helped, and there's no harm in taking a multivitamin unless you've been specifically told not to. Obviously, don't do it if you've been told not to. But yeah, so that's what I did, and it seems to have worked quite nicely. So I hope that's been slightly informative. I will post a video of the foods that I eat, the foods that you should eat, the foods you should avoid, and I hope that this has been relatively helpful. Please like, share, tell your friends if you found this helpful. Thank you very much. So I'll see you later. Bye.